It's week 4 of the Driver World Cup, and I think these two could argue they've had a bad draw in the first round here. So we've got the Titleist TS2 going head to head against the Callaway Mavrik. Now this is going to be really interesting because we've had the Mavrik in play this season and the TS2 in play last season, so they really are two of my favourite drivers from the last few years. What we're going to do is we're going to hit 10 balls with each, just have a look at the stats, see how the numbers stack up, and see which is our overall winner today. Since it's my current gamer, I'm going to start with the Callaway Mavrik. Now out on the course this has been performing really well recently, and last time I played I only missed one fairway, so really this is performing really well for me at the moment, so it will be interesting to see what numbers we get inside on the flight scope. Probably not my best strike in terms of ball speed. I still got 1.49 smash, but it's gone exceptionally straight. So that was probably my best strike so far. It's flown 220 carry, so pretty decent for me. Would have got probably another 20 yards of run out of that out on the course, especially with how firm they are at the moment. So it was a really nice strike, but also a really controlled ball flight, so just a nice little draw, which is typically what I do like to see out on the course. Okay, let's take a quick look at the data for the Mavrik there. So my average carry distance, which I know will be all what you want to know, is 218, so probably typically what I would expect that I see on a launch monitor. Really, I tend to hit it a bit further on the course. It's a bit strange. I don't tend to get my best strike when I'm kind of hitting it on the range or indoors. But for me, when I'm on a launch monitor, I'd expect to see kind of in the high 2 teens for distance or again up to 220. So that's what I would expect. Although I did have one ball at 196, which I didn't really catch the best. Came a bit high off the face, had more launch. So that has dragged the average down a bit because my best shot was up at 230 carry. So there is a bit of variance there, and if we'd taken that one bad shot out, it would have been at 220, but not a massive difference. My furthest shot I had a 1.51 smash with, so really good strike quality there. And throughout the shots, I would say my smash factor was really high. It was 1.49 or 1.5, 1.51 on all the shots, apart from that one that I popped up a bit high and then we saw the low distance on. So really, apart from that one shot, I was really impressed in terms of kind of spin consistency, distance consistency, and strike consistency. Now, if we look in terms of dispersion, one of the reasons I put this in my bag was because I felt like I didn't get that big left miss with this club, and you can see my dispersion is a little bit more right biased in these. Personally, for me, that's something that just matches my swing tendencies a bit better, but obviously that's going to vary from player to player. I did hit 2 shots slightly left, but really not massively, and overall my dispersion I was pretty happy with. Right, next up, TS2. So I got fit into the Mavrik after this, and the Mavrik actually has a slightly shorter shaft, and instantly when I go back to this I can feel it's a bit longer. Initially it does feel a bit harder to control, so it's definitely a variable which a lot of people don't think about. I prefer having a shorter shaft. I just feel like it's easier to control the consistency of strike, but obviously it's going to affect distance and things like that as well. Sometimes people do actually find if they go for a shorter club that they actually hit it further because the strike consistency kind of outweighs the fact that they could swing the club faster with a longer club. But there's only really half an inch difference, so it's not going to be massive in terms of kind of club head speed. I think the TS2 performed really strongly there, so it's going to be really interesting to take a look at the numbers. Now, average carry distance is 218. I'm pretty sure that's exactly the same as what we had at the Mavrik, so that's very interesting. I would say it's probably slightly more consistent in terms of distance, so the grouping is a little bit smaller, but I would say there's kind of an upper limit on that shot. So my best shot was 225, which is 5 yards shorter than my best shot with the Mavrik. And sometimes I just feel that's because I can't swing this quite as quickly. It feels a bit heavier. So we see that in my slowest club head speed, which is at 85 mile an hour, which is a little bit down. And then my highest was at 90, so 3 mile an hour slower than the Mavrik. But then in terms of smash factor, it was slightly more consistent, so I didn't get the highest one I got was 1.52, which is a bit better than I got with the Mavrik, and the lowest was 1.47, so there's definitely more consistency in terms of smash factor, which is why we're seeing that overall kind of tighter grouping in terms of front to back distance dispersion. Okay, I just wanted to show you how ridiculously similar this data is. So we've got the Mavrik at the top and the Titleist below. So identical carry, 3 yards different in total distance. I think that's a bit hard to measure in a launch monitor because it's not completely accurate. Lateral, the Mavrik was a little bit better, but not too much in it. You know, we're talking 1 to 4 yards, so like 3 yard dispersion difference. And then we can see here the Titleist is down a little bit on club head speed, but ball speed's not too dissimilar. Smash factor is very similar. Now here we see the biggest difference in the spin. Now the Callaway was spinning more, and generally you can see that sometimes on the course. If they're into the wind, it does get up high a bit and get caught up in the wind. However, I was still getting those high shots with the Titleist. They were just compensating with the fact that I was getting some extremely low spinning ones. So although this might look better and more optimal for what we'd want with driver, this was actually a lot more consistent and this was a lot more variable. So I would say that this one was actually better, even though the spin is slightly higher than I probably would want with driver. Now in terms of launch angles, again very, very similar, and actually in terms of height the Callaway was going a bit higher, and that's definitely down to kind of some of those knuckleballs and the lower spin numbers that I saw with the Titleist. A big thing we can see over here as well is this. One, I need to work on my attack angle because no one's hitting it far with it, hitting it that far down on the ball. But two, I was hitting down on it an extra degree with the Titleist, and I do feel that in my swing it just feels a bit heavier. It does feel a bit harder for me to kind of hit up on the ball. And I think that does affect the variable spin that we see, and also the fact that I swing it slightly slower with the Titleist. Right, dispersion. With both of these, I had kind of one shot with both that was quite a bit shorter than the rest of the shots, about 10 yards shorter. So in terms of dispersion, I've just deleted them to make it a bit easier, and all the other shots were quite compact, so I think it's more representative of the shots we hit. But really across both, the dispersion was pretty good, and I have to say the Titleist was better than I thought it was going to be. The main reason I swapped it out is because I had that shot that cage, there was a big miss to the left, and really this wasn't reflected in the data at all. In fact, the Titleist did slightly better on dispersion, so in terms of the whole grouping area, we're talking like just over 1,000 square yards for the Titleist, and then we're talking about just over 1,200 square yards for the Callaway. So the Titleist did pip the Callaway in this section just a little bit. Okay. Identical distance, better spin and height consistency, better dispersion. I think we're gonna have to go to penalties. Let's head out into the course for this one. Right, I'm out on the 10th hole here at Huddersfield Golf Club. Now this is a short par 4, it's 244 yards to the green. Now it's been raining all morning, so it probably will be a miracle. 1, if I reach, and 2, if I don't get soaked. So I better get on with this. I'm going to hit the Titleist first. I've actually got some of the new tour speeds to test, so I'm going to use these. I've got grey dots on this one, and I'll just use a plain one for the second shot. You can reach this with a good shot, but with the weather today, maybe not. But let's just see which one I get nearest the green, and that's going to be the winner. I have to say I struck that well. It started a little bit left and was a bit of a cut, but it had come back into the fairway and did start running round to the green nicely. Right, Mavrik's turn. I struck that so good, but it's definitely a bit left, and I'm not sure if it's curved round as much as the Titleist, but let's head up and see. Okay, so I'm nearly up by the green. You can see we've just got this little hill here, which is what both the balls flew over. Now, to me, it looked like the Titleist had a bit of a better kick into the right, so maybe that's going to have got it close to the green, but I'm not totally sure. The Callaway seemed to be going a bit further, so maybe that's got it nearer the green. We'll just have to go and find out. Oh, I see a ball just there. I can see one. Oh, I can see two. There's one on the left here. Okay, so this ball is the winner, but which one is it? nearly got up to the green, in all fairness. I'd say it's a damp day. And this is grey dots. But this does in fact have grey dots on it, which means the Callaway is your winner. Okay, there seems to be a reoccurring theme here over the weeks, but that was ridiculously close. I mean, I do think the Mavrik did deserve the win. I've put both out on the course for a good season, and I would say the Mavrik has the slight edge, but obviously the data was ridiculously close inside, and there's not that much to split these two. Anyway, make sure you keep your eye on the NCG YouTube channel as we run into the semi-finals of the Drive World Cup, find out who's playing each other and who is the ultimate winner. And if you want more golf content, head over to the NCG social media channels for more content coming soon.